Hello everybody, welcome to the how-to video for submitting a change of officer form. If you're having trouble logging into the website, please review the how-to video for logging in. From the home page, you're going to click on the My Forms button in the top left corner and then find the change of officer form. Select that. Keeping in mind that you are completing this form for the upcoming academic year. So remember, our officers are serving from the summer through the fall and then the upcoming spring, and then once the spring semester concludes, the new officers take over. So when you're submitting this form in the beginning of the spring semester before that deadline, you're submitting it for the upcoming academic year. So when you're going through this form, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to be filling out the information for each of the different officers that you have elected. So it rolls through through the core four officers, so through president, vice president, treasurer, and then secretary. Under each section, you're going to fill out the person's first and last name. It's going to be their given name. If they do have a nickname, if you wouldn't mind typing their name and then in parentheses or quotations, whatever you want to do, their nickname, what they'd like to be called. But we do need their full name or their actual name. And then you're also going to be indicating on there if they're returning to the position or if they're new to this position. So if their president is returning, you'd be selecting that. If they're new, it'll be indicating that button, keeping in mind that it does default to new to this position. So this is kind of going to help us give us information about how many returning officers we have, and if we're meeting with the same individuals, or we need to have conversations to kind of talk about some of our past history with the club and our beginning of the year meetings. So when you're filling out this form, again, make sure you're putting accurate information down. If you're putting the wrong email down, that means they're not going to be receiving our emails and added to the listserv. And then when they complain about not receiving stuff or not showing up to trainings and the club being disciplined, that's going to be on the fault of whoever submitted this form. So make sure that you are reviewing that information accurately. And same with phone number. If we need to reach out to them and we don't have their accurate phone number, there is no other way for us to obtain that information. So it's important that you're verifying that you're putting the correct information in as you go through and fill out this form. And then as you get down to the very end here, you have the safety officers. And again, these are the lead safety officers for your club. You can have more than just the 2 safety officers, but your club is required to submit these 2 lead safety officers. And the difference here is that these 2 lead safety officers, their certifications last the entire year. So at no point in the year should their certifications expire and them no longer become a valid safety officer. So just bearing that in mind. But for those of you who are also risk level 1, you do not need to fill out, so you would just select that button there, that option for the new or returning to position or not available, and that's how you can move on through that form. And then lastly, your faculty staff advisor, who you're going to have is that serving that role for the upcoming year. Again, your advisor can play a vital part to your club for kind of providing you with previous year's information. They're a third-party biased option, voice if you're having a meeting or have a question. It can provide you with some additional information or resources, whatever the case may be, but you're going to put that information in here for us, and then utilize your advisors as much or as little as you want. Additionally, with this form, it's not just for submitting it for the upcoming academic year. In the instance that one of your officers leaves throughout the year, or maybe school becomes too much and they can no longer continue with serving in their role, you would resubmit this form to us. Now, please keep in mind that's not to say that you should be submitting this at the beginning of the spring because you want them to serve on a different basis or annual basis than what we have set. That should only be in the instance where someone is leaving school or feels that they can no longer serve in their best instance. And then additionally, if you have someone that your officer board feels is not maintaining their responsibility, their roles, you could fill that form out as well. So if you voted someone out and wanted to vote someone else in, you could submit that form. Please keep in mind, though, if you do make that change throughout the year, I would accompany that form submission with an email to us if you're making a change mid-year. That way we also have an extra incentive to go ahead and look for that form submission in case we accidentally miss it, so that way we can get that information updated, get your new officer their training videos, and go from there. Once you're done with that, again, double check, make sure the information you have submitted is accurate. The names, the emails, the phone numbers. And then when you're done, go down to the very bottom and submit for review. Find your club. Again, you won't see all of the different clubs that are listed there. And then you'll just see yours. So once you submit that, you'll proceed. If you do miss a field, the form will redirect you back up to fill out that information. So that way you can get their information put in there for us, so we have an accurate form, and then submit it. You'll see the green success bars in the top right corner, and you'll know that you've successfully submitted this form.